I want to say a big thank you to everybody that made our meeting yesterday a success. I enjoyed it. It was a great meeting, and I can't wait for Sunday because we couldn't literally finish what we started. But I honestly can't wait for Sunday because we continue where we got to on Sunday. But listen, you make this family great. We are growing every day. We are learning every day, and we are getting better every day. So I want to say thank you to everybody that made it possible for our yesterday's meeting to be a success. I love you guys. You know I do. But we are growing. I know the assignment on all of our lives will and shall be manifested with no delay. I know, because we are waking up. It's time you tell your brother, you tell your sister, brother, sister, it's time we wake up. We've been in these lies for quite too long. Like my sister would say, we've been in this matrix for quite too long. It's time we break free. This is the Melanated Truth. Aquaba. Welcome to the Melanated Truth. My name is Kojo Bento, and I'm always humbled that I'm able to come your way to talk to you, to have a conversation with you, to show you things that you definitely have seen but haven't really paid attention to it. My job is very easy. Listen, I love my job. I love what I do because every single time I come your way to speak the truth. What better job is there out there than just speaking the truth? And today, I'm going to do nothing less than speaking the truth to you. And I want to say a big thank you to the powers that be. The Odoman Kumasi, the Asasiasi, the Esi Ajo Abne Awuku Yao Efi Amen. Asi the Sure to me asi, the Asasi to me asi. To me a Oden soon, so that's Asi. Yada ejewi ase tumi ase yada obi biara na nanoma wakan ya ho na nanoma wa boy na nanoma de bia wodi yenye mekan mama ode ye bia ye yada obi biara ase yesre do ba kodo no amen na ahonzen wa hyen yen sapom nsu wa amen na ahonzen wodi yenye mekan wa amen na kokodu ma de biara yedu yebotumi aka na kware dem all say the order yakan. That's me. The also I say I bless you. I thank you for always tuning in. And you are the reason why we have the Melanated Truth. Without you, I'm done. There would not be anything like the Melanated Truth. So I thank you. I bless you. I love you for making this what it is. Today, I want to talk about a hot one. And tomorrow, I'll continue it. Because tomorrow, depending on the time I finish today, I'll go into demons tomorrow, the subject of demons. I'll go into that tomorrow. But today, let's look at how thou art fallen, O Lucifer. How thou art fallen, O Lucifer. There's a phrase in the New Testament, and I don't often go to the New Testament because I've done so many videos on the New Testament, and when you go to my videos you realize that there are so many things I've said about the New Testament. And you know my stand on the New Testament, totally fake, right? But the more you search, the more you learn, the more you uncover the truth, the more you realize how ridiculous the New Testament is and how made up and how it is full of lies. There's a statement that Jesus made in the New Testament that I want us to look into real quick. The reason I want us to look into this statement because I'm here to prove today that there's not a thing like Satan, and there's not a thing like Satan thou art fallen. I mean Lucifer, hell bound Lucifer, as Christianity and other organized religion has projected to us. So this statement is on the account that the subject I'm about to go in existed, and it is what it is in the scriptures. So if I go into this subject and I prove to you that this subject is not what it is, then it means that whatever statement or whoever is making this statement here is absolutely garbage. It shouldn't even be made. Because I believe this is the reason why most people are too afraid even to wake up and ask the basic questions about spirituality. What statement am I talking about? Let's go into Luke 10, I believe. Luke 10, let's start from 17. So in Luke 10, 17, I start from 17. The point is actually in 20. It says, and the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name. Even the devils. And this statement is key. You realize that it wasn't said even the devil as a singular person, but it was said that even the devils, meaning this is referring to a couple of spirits, not one spirit, according to Luke. I didn't write Luke up. So even the devils obeyed at your name. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. We all know without a doubt that this is definitely talking about Isaiah 14. This is definitely talking about Isaiah 14. So I want to go into today straight up, and my eyes are going to be in my notes because I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss anything. In Christianity, the idea of God and Satan being on the same team is absolutely symbolic and totally blasphemous, but at the same time, this is seen all over the scriptures. The idea of Satan and God in Christianity or other organized religion, God, they believe God is the creator. So idea of God and Satan being on the same team is totally ridiculous. I mean, nobody would even begin to think about it, but we can find places, it's all over the scriptures as a matter of fact, but because I want to straight up go into Isaiah 14, let me just give you two instances where Satan and God of Israel, were on the same team, doing the same thing. Let's go to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, let's look at 24. 24, 2 Samuel 24. And again the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. So the anger of the Lord God of Israel came upon David and moved David. So this wasn't David doing anything. The anger of the Lord was the one moving David to go and commit. You understand what I'm saying? The anger of the Lord was the one moving David. For the king said to Joab, so it goes on and on and on, and then David goes ahead to number them. And I have a problem about this passage, because how can the anger of the Lord move David to go and number something, and at the end of the day, David becomes responsible for what happened? So, and Joab gave up. So let me go to the verse 10. And David's heart smote him. After that he had numbered the people. And David said unto the Lord, I have sinned greatly in that I have done. And now I beseech thee, O Lord, take away the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done very foolishly. First and foremost, 24 opens the account with the subject of the anger of the Lord moving David to go and commit this sin according to the God of Israel. So why then is the God of Israel taking responsibility, or not taking responsibility, but rather letting David take the fall for going to number them? That's my problem. How can you move me to go and do something, and then you come and judge me for doing the very thing you moved me to do? For when David was up in the morning, the word of the Lord came unto the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and say unto David, Thus saith the Lord, I offer thee 3 things. Choose one. Then it goes ahead about 1, the enemy coming after them. 2, here's what. So God came to David and told him, unto him shall 7 years famine, the enemy coming after them, or the God of Israel going after him. First and foremost, the anger of the Lord is the one that moved David. David wasn't in the position to want to go and do anything. So it moved David against David's own will. That's a breach of contract. And then David gets punished for what he didn't want to do in the first place. But when we go to Chronicles, the same passage, 1 Chronicles 21, 1 Chronicles 21, let's see the first account. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. So it's the same thing as the angel of the Lord or the anger of the Lord. So Satan provoked David. This even sounds better. Provoke David. But in Samuel, the anger of the Lord moved, dragged David to go down with it. But Satan was used by the God of Israel to provoke David. The same thing. Satan and the God of Israel on the same team. Not enemies, but teammates, working together to fulfill a particular agenda. I didn't write this. It's there in your Bible. Go read it. Go read it. 2 Samuel 24 and 1 Chronicles 21. This is when most people would open their mouths in outer shock and say, wait a minute, how is this possible? Didn't Satan fall from heaven? How is Satan kicked out of heaven and Satan be on the same team as God? Why are you deceiving the good people? Why are you lying to the people? That is not possible. Satan was kicked out of heaven and Satan fell. That's why even Jesus said, I saw Satan fall. Don't forget, I'm sure you have false and ridiculous and nasty the New Testament is. Right? So how now Kojo, tell me, how are you going to prove to us that something we all know, Isaiah 14, that says, I saw the devil fall? How are you going to tell us otherwise? What do you have to say for yourself this time around? Relax. Let's go to Isaiah 14. I got you. Listen. Like I said earlier, my job is to tell the truth, and the truth I will tell. I got you. So in Isaiah 14, the main focal point is from verses 12. And verses 12 reads, How thou art fallen from heaven, O Lucifer. So this is the lie they picked up and pasted in Genesis. Pasted in the book of Luke in the New Testament. O Lucifer, son of the morning, how art thou cast down to the ground? With this weaken the nations. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. And you see, even just reading this, there are so many clues coming up for you to know that this is not even talking about Satan. First of all, the person says what? I will ascend into heaven. If this person is in the heavens, why is this person ascending to the heavens? That doesn't make sense. And I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. So it means this person is not considering himself as a star. I will sit also upon the mountain of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. So if you are saying, Kojo, let me continue. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They said that, see, these shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdom, is this the man? Is this the man? So whoever this is about, it's not even about any God or any angel. This is talking about a man. Isaiah 14 is talking about a man, not any God or any angel. Slowly roll. Let's go back. So, O morning star, how thou art fallen, O Lucifer, son of the morning, how thou art fallen down. So the morning star, the bright morning star. So when you take your Bible as a Christian or Jewish or any religious sect, you read these various passages in the Bible, and this would even tell you something that Isaiah 14 has nothing to do with any Satan. So let's go to 2 Peter in the New Testament 1:19 says so. So we have the prophetic word made more sure, to which you do well to pay attention as the lamp shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star arises in your heart. So this is a parable talking about the morning star that rises. Morning star that is seen. The morning star that is seen by everybody. The star that can still be seen in the morning. In the darkness of night, all other stars are seen. But this particular star, the morning star, it is seen even in the morning, even when the sun rises up. I'm giving you too much clues. Job 38 says what? When the morning stars sang together, all the sons of God shouted for joy. When the morning stars sang together, all the sons, when the morning stars, so there is no one morning star. There are multiples of morning stars. Stars. Morning stars. So when you say which one are you really talking about when you say the morning star? Which one amongst these stars are you talking about? You still don't have a clue. This is not talking about Satan, Isaiah 14. Revelations. I'm reading all. Revelations 22:16. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things for the churches. I am the root and the descendant of David, the bright morning star. So Jesus himself is also calling himself the bright morning star. According to Revelations. The same Revelations 2:28. And I will give him the morning star. And I will give him the morning star. Numbers 24:17. I see him, but not now. I behold, but not near. A star shall come forth from Jacob. A scepter shall rise from Israel, and shall crash through the forehead of Moab, and tear down all the sons of Sheth. A star shall rise. the same paradox, the same parable, the same metaphor is used with the star when it's talking about David, about the star rising up. You understand what I'm saying? So the use of a star, a morning star in Isaiah, has nothing to do with any Satan. Don't take my word for it. Don't do that. I'm not going to allow you to take my word for it. The morning star that Isaiah is talking about here is no other than Venus. Yes, the planet Venus, the star Venus. Venus is the morning star. Venus is the second planet from the sun. It's named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty, and is the only planet named after a female. So last week when I was saying, I told you that I'm tempted to believe Venus is one of the days of the week. God of love. Venus may have been named after the most beautiful deity of the pantheon, because it's shown the brightest amongst the 5 planets known to the ancient astronomers. So it's the brightest among the 5 planets known to the ancient. We know more than 5, but it's known because Venus is the brightest amongst them. In ancient time, Venus was often thought to be 2 different stars: the evening star and the morning star. Listen, this is public information. Go read about Venus. In ancient time, Venus was often thought to be 2 different stars: the evening star and the morning star. That is, the ones that first appeared at sunset and sunrise. The one that first appeared at sunset. So sunset, Venus is the first star that appears, and sunrise, Venus is still seen. Oh, wait a minute. Sunrise is in the morning, right? So the star that is seen in the morning is called the morning star. That is the one that first appears at sunset and sunrise. In Latin, they were respectively known as Vesper and Lucifer. So you see, there is no God in the heavens called Lucifer. I'm talking about the 7 called Lucifer. The term Lucifer is borrowed from the Latin. So the Latin called the morning star Lucifer, not Satan. It is not that there are no stars out there during the day. It's just that the sun is so bright that you can't see them. In the morning, the last planet or star that is visible as the sun rises is Venus. And that is why it's called Lucifer, from the word loosen, glowing weight or giving of light. Check the word loosen. L-U-C-E-N-T. Loosen. Lucent. L-U-C-E-N-T. Meaning the one that glows or gives light. Hence, the reason why they call the morning star the Lucifer, the one that gives light in the morning. Sun. When the sun appears, the star that can still be seen. You see, you need to understand Venus is second close to. So Venus is like what we call the greenhouse in our world. What does the greenhouse do? Traps the sun, feeds the sun to the plant. So Venus traps the sunlight from the sun and reflects itself in the sky. That is why you can still see it during the day. In Christianity, or in Christian times, Lucifer, or light bringer, became known as the name of Satan before his fall. Before his fall. I almost went into teaching on the fall of Venus, but I won't do that today. Maybe some other time we'll come to another subject that would make me want to teach about the fall of Venus, because I don't want to take all my time today. So in this chapter, Isaiah is referring to the kings of Babylon, the enemies to the God of Israel. It's referred to what? Isaiah is talking about Babylon, the enemies to the God of Israel. And it's, you see, you don't have to go to any other chapter to understand what this is referring to. Yes, sir. You don't have to go anywhere else. You will see it right in Isaiah. I told you I'm not missing anything. I'm making sure I say all the points I listed down. Right in Isaiah 14, it is made clear who this is referring to. For it says, Isaiah 14:1, for the Lord would have mercy on Jacob and would yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So this is the Lord making promise to the house of Jacob. For the Lord would have mercy on Jacob and would yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave. Isaiah 14:1 is telling you this is a prophecy to Jacob and Israel. This is not a prophecy even to Christians to suggest that, okay, since this is about Christians, no. We are told in verses 3 to 4 that he's bringing judgment against Babylon. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. It's telling you this is a proverb. This is not a revelation or prophecy. This is a proverb. Tell this proverb to the king of Babylon that I'm about to do this to the king of Babylon. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor seized? The golden city seized. The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in rout with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hinder it. So this is the Lord saying all that he has to say about the king of Babylon, giving him a proverb, and it continues. We compare Isaiah 14:4 and 14:22, and you see that this is talking about no other than the king of Babylon. 22 says what? And I will raise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off Babylon, the name, and the remnant, and the son, and the nephew, saith the Lord. I will just strip everybody down. I will cut off everybody. This is talk about Babylon. From the opening account to one of the closing verses, it's all telling you that this word is about Babylon, that the king of Babylon. That is why Isaiah 14:16 says what? Is this the man that made the earth tremble? That did shake the... Is this the man? That's what the whole world will say. So a lot of people haven't even asked themselves this question. Why was Isaiah so busy talking about the king of Babylon? Have you ever thought about it? Why was Isaiah talking about the king of Babylon? Isaiah was living in the time where the kings of Israel were ruling. And there was not a thing called the king of Babylon or the kingdom of Babylon. Babylon wasn't what it was, and Israel were not in slavery to Babylon at the time Isaiah was giving this prophetic word. So why would Isaiah? Because prophetically that nation is going to come to pass, and when that nation come to pass, that nation will do wickedness to these people and suppress the nations of Israel, the nation Israel. And so therefore, a prophetic word is going in advance even before the kingdom be established. So Isaiah was speaking prophetically. So what Isaiah was even talking about hadn't happened in the time of Isaiah. So Isaiah is not saying, how thou art fallen, as in something that is going to happen in the beginning. These people did a number on all of us, but we will expose them. Because when you read it and you don't know what this is about, you would think Isaiah is talking about something that happened from the beginning, the creation. No. Isaiah was prophesying about something that hadn't even happened yet. So wait, when did Satan fall? When the children of Israel were in Babylon, that is when Satan fell. Come on now. Come on. Come on. So when Isaiah was talking about this, it didn't even make sense to the people at the time. He was prophesying and people would be looking at him like, is you crazy? What the hell are you talking about? Who is this morning star that you're talking about? Who is this king? Because Babylon was not ruling Israel at the time Isaiah was giving the prophet. It's like saying that maybe 200 years ago, 200 is even too far. Let's say 20 years ago. If somebody came 20 years ago and said, or 30 years ago, that there's going to be an entire world lockdown. You understand what I'm saying? An entire world lockdown. Would this even make sense to you last year? If somebody told you in 2020 there's going to be the entire world is going to lock down, the economy is going to shut down, everybody is not going to go to work, all the competition, sports, entertainment, everything that is happening in the world is going to shut. Would you have believed this last year? It is the same way when Isaiah was talking about this. The people at that time didn't have a clue anything about any kingdom of Babylon for them to even begin to think, wait, there's a falling star? There's a Satan that is falling? This hadn't happened during the time of Isaiah. So this is, Isaiah is not talking about something that happened from the beginning, from the creation, from day one. No. He was talking about something that was yet to be manifested. Just like coronavirus. If somebody said there's going to be a virus outbreak that is going to shut down the entire world, would you have believed it? If anybody had told you last year that the world is going to scream out Black Lives Matter and make it have the impact it is having now, would you have believed it? You wouldn't have. So it's the same way the people of Israel didn't even believe at the time Isaiah was talking about the falling star to be Satan, according to the scriptures. Listen, I'm teaching you out of the scripture. This has nothing to do with the truth or the stories or the intelligence of our fathers. From the scripture, the very scripture they gave you and I, we don't even understand it. How can you understand the intelligence of our fathers? How can we? This is why a lot of people are still sleeping and not waking up. Let me make something right. Like I'm saying right now, Africa is going to rule the world, right? Africa is going to rule the world. But when I say something like that, this wouldn't make sense to you. Because when you look at China buying Africa, when you look at the Westerners, it looks like they are taking all the resources out of Africa. They are taking everything out of Africa. They are stripping Africa naked. The descendants of the continent are also abandoning the continent and leaving the continent. I saw a video yesterday, Ghanaians in Saudi Arabia crying that they want to come back home because they left. So when I tell you something like Africa is going to rule the world, how many people are even going to believe that? Nobody's going to believe it. And when I tell you our family, the Melanated Truth, are going to play a major role in seeing Africa rule the world, I was sounding insane to a lot of people, right? I was sounding insane to a lot of people. It's the same way Isaiah sounded insane when Isaiah was talking about how thou art fallen, oh bright morning star, oh morning star, or star of the morning. But what the hell is this guy even talking about? You should remember, this curse against Babylon was also prophesied, this destruction was also prophesied by Jeremiah and happened 70 years later. This happened 70 years, the destruction after Jeremiah. It happened 70 years, the destruction of Babylon. So after Isaiah, after Jeremiah, 70 years, then this prophetic word in Isaiah 14 happened. This didn't happen from the beginning. As Jesus is lying about it in Luke 10, saying, I saw the morning star fall from the heaven, from the foundations of the earth. Liar, huh? Such a liar. This didn't even happen yet. When Isaiah was talking about, we are told in Daniel 7 that Babylon is a lion that walked on two legs, and it loses its wings and has the heart of man or human rather than the heart of lion, which means that it isn't destroyed, but it is weakened. So Babylon was a lion with wings and with a strong heart, devouring everything in its path. Then Daniel 7:4 talks about the fact that the wings were clipped, the heart was taken out and given a heart of man, and this lion was walking like on it, not destroyed but weakened. That is why it goes ahead to talk about I think the next thing was the beast. So it was only wounded, and then since it was wounded, its ideologies and all of that was passed on to Persia. Then from Persia, it was passed on to, which is a bear, it was passed on to the leopard. Then from the leopard, it was passed on to the fourth beast, which the fourth beast became the Roman Empire that we have today, which is still ruling, which brought about Christianity. This fourth beast is what brought about Christianity, but the ideologies and everything of this system came from the lion. You understand what I'm saying? Came from the lion. Passed it on to the bear, passed it on to the leopard, then to the final beast. So the culture and the ideology of this thing did not end with Babylon. It got moved on. And that is what Isaiah 14, that I will shut, I will destroy you. Didn't say I will kill you. So you are cast down, you are brought low. So it was a lion, but the wings are clipped. Babylon's wing, go to Daniel 7, it's there. The wings are clipped, heart is taken out. So you are brought down, you are cast down, you are brought low. You are no more that lion, the lion. You understand what I'm saying? It is time to face the music, dance to the tune. Look at Daniel, from Daniel 7, 4 all the way down to 8, 9. You see the picture clearly. Stop. And people are moving around, dancing around, painting ideas that, oh, this is the new Babylon, and this is the new Babylon, and this is the new Babylon. No, that's not a new Babylon. It's not a new Babylon. Babylon is destroyed. Babylon is not a picture of Satan. In Isaiah 14, there is no Satan mentioned anywhere. These are all lies made up. Letting you be too stuck in your ways, afraid and say, this is bad. No. The cultures got passed on. The Babylon was destroyed according to, listen, I'm still teaching from scripture. Projected images, projected lies is what a lot of people are living on now. So people are too busy. Where is this the Babylon that said was going to fall? Is this the where do you find that? Where do you find those lies? Lies. Lies. It's time to stop this craziness. There's no Satan in Isaiah 14. Use your head and start from the beginning, and you will see who the morning star is about. Stop all this craziness. You will see who this morning star is. Read it for yourself. It says, and he who smote the people in the rout with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, none hindered. The whole earth is at rest. You see, the whole earth is at rest. And they break forth in singing, yea, the fair trees rejoice at these, the cedar of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against me. Oh, even the trees are rejoicing and say, since the king of Babylon is laid down, no tree fella is coming for me, is cutting me down. Ooh, these are happy days. Because the king of Babylon is shut down, not Satan. So the subject of the morning star is a great metaphor which Venus, which doesn't care if the sun is a, let's paint a picture. So Venus, so the subject of the bright morning star is a metaphor of Venus that was used to describe how Babylon was going to fall. So Venus on borrowed light from the sun, when the sun starts rising up, Venus feels like I'm untouchable. Nobody is touching me. See, I'm still shining. It's morning and I'm still shining and nobody is stopping my shine. So Venus becomes prideful and so arrogant and feels like everybody can see her in the morning, so therefore nobody can stop her. Then from nowhere, the sun marches up and shuts down Venus, and nobody can see Venus anymore, and Venus is gone, and the sun powers through the day. That is the same thing that is going to happen to Babylon. So the whole phrase is a metaphor that is being likened unto the king of Babylon. That just as Venus falls the minute the sun powers up, is the same way Babylon is going to fall, which it did. You see, there's no Satan in this scripture. The problem is that we don't study well. Those we trusted in to teach us are not teaching us any better. And those of us that are learning, we are only learning through the spectacles of Christianity, even though we claim we are out of Christianity. That is the problem. Another place, let me quickly run this. Another place that they use to deceive and confuse a lot of people and say, well, if you say Isaiah 14 is about this, what about Ezekiel 28? Ezekiel 28, what can you say about Ezekiel 28? Let's go to Ezekiel 28. The sad thing is, if all these Christian pastors and Hebrew Israelite movement, what have you, will just spend enough time to read chapters, not just pick out verses, but spend time and read chapters, they would know that Ezekiel 28 has nothing to do with any devil. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, before we got to Ezekiel 28, it started from Ezekiel 20, Ezekiel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Right? So before you get to Ezekiel 28, if you even spend time to read Ezekiel 25, to read Ezekiel 26, to read Ezekiel 27, then you would understand that Ezekiel 28 is talking about a particular person and not Satan. They will know that Ezekiel 28 is talking about economic superpower of Tyre, or certain books say Tyros, which was in Phoenicia. Tyre was an economic superpower in Phoenicia. Tyre was also a best friend at the time to the Israelites, according to scriptures, and was very instrumental in building the state of Israel because of its fantastic financial strength, or financial wealth, or fantastic wealth. Ezekiel 28 is talking about Tyre or Tyros, and has nothing to do with any news. It's right there. Start from Ezekiel 25. So what happens is that Tyre becomes very powerful, very rich, and very arrogant at the same time. That without Tyre, there will not be any Israel. Like, I am the reason why Israel is what it is. Then according to the scriptures, the God of Israel get upset for Tyre being arrogant and boasting that without Tyre, Israel wouldn't be what it is, rendering the God of Israel useless. Because the God of Israel is not doing anything for Israel. It is the kingdom or the city of Tyre that is helping Israel out. So the God of Israel gets upset and send a prophetic word of destruction to Tyre. That's why Ezekiel is told to tell the prince of Tyre that you are not an angel, you are not a god, you are only a man. Come on. It says what? And the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyre or Tyros, that saith the Lord God, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man. Read it. Ezekiel 28:2. You feel like a God, you feel all powerful, untouchable. You are only but a man. When do we read that Satan was a man? Not that I feel like not even doing these places. Because it's right there. It's right before you. That said the Lord God, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not a God. Though thou set thy heart as the heart of a God. So you have become too populous. You lift up your heart and you feel like you're a God. The God of Israel is telling you, you ain't a God, you're a man. You're not a God. Here's Akoshi. Yen truly, je Akoshi ne reason. A boy, a twin, and yen maybe a yimpa. If the God of Israel was talking about Satan, why would the God of Israel say Satan is a man? Come on. Come on. Why would the God of Israel? God of Israel know perfectly whether Satan is not a man. Why would the God of Israel say Satan is a man? Come on. Was Satan the prince of Tyre? Was Satan the prince of Tyre? Here God is saying to Tyre, you could have been all that. You could have been all powerful. I saw all, you saw all the beauty of the Garden of Eden. All the beauty, you saw all this beautiful thing. All of that and more could have been your portion if not for your arrogance and pride. You saw all the beauty. I seen how the Prince of Tyre saw the Garden of Eden, again, metaphoric, figuratively. You said all of this could have been yours, Tyre, but you just had to be arrogant. The end of Tyre is not only prophesied or found in Ezekiel 28, you can also find in Isaiah 23. So let's go. Kakra. Isaiah 28. Isaiah 23, sorry. Let's see if you will find the distraction, the prophecy to Tyre. Even Isaiah 23. Let's see. And the burden of Tyre, howl, ye ships of Tarshish, for it is laid waste, so that there is no house, no entry in. From the land of Shittim is revealed to them. But still, ye inhabitants of Ar, the island, thou whom the merchant of Zidon that passed over the sea has replenished. But still ye inhabitants of the Ar, which is the island, thou whom the merchants of Zidon, which is the same time, that passed over the sea, have replenished. And by the great waters, the seed of Sheol and the harvest of the river is her revenue, and she's a mat of nations. You see, she's a mat of nations. So powerful place, economic starter, huge. Is a mat of nations. Be thou ashamed, O Zidon, which is the same as Tyre. For the sea has spoken. Even the strength of the sea is saying, I travail not, nor bring forth children, neither do I nourish up your young men, nor bring up virgins. As a report concerning Egypt, so shall they be sorely pained at the report of Tyre. It is right. Why don't they say Isaiah 23 is about Satan? Why haven't anybody come out to say Isaiah 23 is about Satan? Let's go to Jeremiah 25. Jeremiah 25. Jeremiah 25 from 22, it says so. Let me start from 21. Edom and Moab and the children of Ammon and all the kings of Tyre, the same thing, and all the kings of Zidon and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, Tema. Oh boy, Tema in the Bible. Listen, I want to do one day show you account names in the Bible, and it's word for word. The Tema here, T-E-M-A. Go and I don't know. I don't want to waste time to go to the other new versions. But the old King James here, T-E-M-A. Where in the world do you find another place, another city called Tema? Apart from Ghana. Listen, one day I will spend time and show you Tema word for word. T-E-M-A. Because names do not get changed. It's either you add letters to it or you take letters away from it. You don't transliterate names, change it. When the minute you translate a name, it changes, it becomes a different thing. Tema, Ghana. That's where the harbor, the major harbor in Ghana is. And Tema, listen, let me tell you something funny. Tema is where the equator crosses each other. Tema is the center of the earth. The shore of Tema is where the center of the earth hits. And it's right here. And it's right located in Ghana. Listen. It goes on and on. And 26 says what? Therefore thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall, and rise no more, because the sword which I will send among you will utterly destroy you. Read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Ezekiel, the same Ezekiel 26. 26. And it came to pass in the 11th year, in the first year of the month, the Son of Man, because that Tyrus has said against Jerusalem, aha, she is broken, and that was the gate of the people. She is turned unto me, and I shall be replenished. Now she is laid to waste. Therefore that saith the Lord, behold, I am against thee, O Tyrus, O Tyre. Read it. Ezekiel 26:3. Why are nobody saying all these other places that is talk about Tyre? It's about Satan. But when it came to, because it mentioned you were in the Garden of Eden, I made you with this, I made you with that, I made you with all this beauty, so you think it's talking about Satan. No, it's talking about the economic wealth of Tyre. 27 says what? Ezekiel 27. Now well the Lord came again unto me, saying, now, son of man, take up a lamentation for Tyrus, and say unto Tyrus, O thou at the entry of the sea, which art a merchant of the people for many isles. That said the Lord, O God, O Tyrus, thou hast said, I am a perfect beauty. So Tyrus is saying to himself, I'm a perfect beauty. When I look at my country, we are beautiful. And thy borders are in the midst of the seas. Listen, thy borders are in the midst of the sea. Thy builders have perfected thy beauty. Thy builders have perfected thy beauty, and they have made all thy ships bought of fair trees and Sinai. And they have taken the cedars from Lebanon, to make masts for thee. And the oaks of Bashan have they made thy house. The company of the Asherites have made thy benches of ivory, brought out of the isles, fine linen, with broidered work from Egypt, was that which thou spreadest forth to be thy sail. Blue and purple from the isles of Elisha was that which covered thee. The inhabitants of Zidon were thy mariners, and thy wise men, O Tyros, that were indeed were thy pilots. The ancient of Gibal and the wise men thereof were in thy carcass, and all the ships of the sea with thy mariners were indeed to occupy thy merchandise. Then Persia and of Lud and of Put were in thy army. Thy men of war, they hang the shields and helmets in thee. They set for thy comeliness. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. See, all these people, it goes all the way to 35. And all the inhabitants of the isle be astonished at thee, and their king shall be sore afraid. They shall be troubled in thy countenance. And so your presence terrified everybody else. The merchant among the people shall hiss at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shall thy be anymore. All talking about tithe. Now when the Lord says, it continues, says, with thy wisdom and thy understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and had gotten gold and silver into thy treasure. Where is the treasure of Satan? By the great wisdom and by tariffs hast thou increased thy riches, and see, thy great wisdom. What did you do? They were taking tariffs. And thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore, that says the Lord. So it goes on and on and on. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyros, and say unto, thus saith the Lord, thou sealest up the son, full of wisdom, perfect in beauty. You read in 27, talking about the beauty and the perfection of Tyre. Thou hast been in the Eden, the garden of the Lord. Every precious stone was thy covering. The Sidonians, topaz, it goes on and on. Thou art the anointed shepherd. So it goes on and describes the beauty of Tyre and how Tyre was. How is this talking about Satan? How is this talking about Satan? So why is this prophecy repeated over and over? Is it because many nations would fall just like Tyre if they don't walk in humility? This goes for many countries. It's all over the place because many nations have to. Haven't we seen a lot of nations rise and fall in our lifetime? Not, I mean, the lifetime of our fathers all the way to us. This is what this is about. How is this talk about Satan? Because it mentioned you are anointed and filled with all stones and all of that. That was Tyre. Read from Ezekiel 25. Go and read Isaiah 23. Go and read Jeremiah 25. And all the other places that talks about Tyre. And you will know that we have been tricked and deceived to think Satan was falling from anywhere. It's a morning star that thou hast fallen, and Satan is an enemy to the Creator. That is even impossible to consummate in your thoughts. That the Creator can have an enemy. Listen, my time's up. I gotta let you go. Tomorrow, I'll tackle demons. I'll talk about demons. Listen, I don't care. I will say it. I will talk about it. I will talk about the subjects nobody is willing to talk about. If you want me to discuss any subject, talk about any subject, let me know. Put it in the comments. Or if you're in the community, ask me. I'll talk about things everybody's too afraid to talk about. And I will show you how the lies are laid out. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friend, to tell your brother, to tell your sister, to tell your family members that we are waking up. And this is the place to be. The Melanated Truth. Stay blessed. I love you guys. See you soon tomorrow. Same time.